Alright, this is Mad Dog 2001. Figuring I haven't made a sport video in a while just because of the self-destruction of the Denver Broncos. And me being a Bronco fan and seeing a 5-7 team right now, I'm utterly disgusted. However, it's easy to point the finger at one person, and I have this feeling that Mike Shanahan's going to get fired at the end of the season. I don't believe it's all his fault for them to be 5-7. And this is what this video is about. First of all, if you look at the Broncos personnel wise on defense, it looks like the best defense in football. Talking about players wise, not execution. You can't blame a coach on execution. So, for an example, they've been losing games because obviously their defense is getting burned. Not because the plays were called wrong. And Mike Shanahan, in my opinion, is only to blame for one game this year, and that's that game where they kicked to Devin Hessner. Usually the coach is to blame for almost every game you lose. So one game was because he lost. I mean, there's one game you can blame him for, and I'll give you the Devin Hessner thing, and I wouldn't have kicked to him anyways. Mike Shanahan's been doing that all the time. He doesn't fear anyone, and his ego does get the best of him sometimes. I can remember a couple years ago where the one person you did not want to kick the ball to was to Dante Hall. They kicked the ball to them in I think a week 2 or week 3 game. Week 4 I think it was of like 2004 I believe. And Dante Hall ran it back for a touchdown. The Chiefs went on and won the division with that momentum. They won 3 games because of Dante Hall. A pretty shitty Chiefs team to begin with. Basically, that was another thing where Shanahan's ego got the best of him again. But then again, you can't blame a coach on execution. Uh, so if fumbles and turnovers, not a coach's fault. It's not a coach's fault if a quarterback throws an interception, unless if the play was designed, whatever. But a quarterback should be able to make adjustments to begin with. Uh, Another reason why they have collapsed is the fact that I'm not going to blame this on injuries, but the fact is the expectations were way too high for them. They just thought that they could buy their defense, which they basically did. They could pretty much buy their defense and expect a guy like Jay Cutler. He's only a second year guy, and they're expecting him to take the Broncos deep into the playoffs. He's still a couple years away from being even NFL pro like, and he does play extremely well for a second year quarterback. I mean, a lot better than Matt Leinart, or a lot better than you can even say he's doing better than Vince Young even. But the fact is, expectations are way too high for him. At least now. Next year, they're a playoff team. They better be in the playoffs next year, or there should be some fixing going on. Also, they think if they can plug any running back in the backfield, it's going to be successful for them. Travis Henry is a very good running back, but you have no one around him to begin with. I mean, you have Travis Henry, who's after him, Mike Bell, right? Mike Bell's okay, but why'd you get rid of Tate Bell? I know you traded Tate Bell to get in Dre Bly. I can understand that, but really, you should years ago you shouldn't have gotten rid of Reuben Drones. Though you did get a good deal from them, so I take that back. Mike Anderson's one you should have held on to. He was a good back. Uh, a back that was like built like a fullback but ran like a halfback would. If he broke the open field, nobody could catch him. The guy was like 240 pounds. I mean, he was a big running back. He might have even been heavier than that, too. I don't even know. John Mann used to call him Plunky, but John Mann shouldn't be talking. Anyways, you can't blame Shanahan for drop passes, fumbles, stuff like that. And basically, Shanahan's a good coach. I think he is. I like him in Denver. I hope they don't fire him because I don't see who you could replace him with. Shanahan does have two Super Bowl rings. However, that's not a lot of that was that away. I mean, so you could take the Super Bowls away from him. But the fact is, they took a really shitty Denver team after Elway and Davis pretty much left it, and they rebuilt it. And they've been rebuilding. They've been in a rebuilding process ever since John Elway left. They tried filling in quarterbacks like Jake Plummer, Brian Garisi, Gus Farrat, Steve Berline. I mean, they've gone through a lot of quarterbacks to try to fit the system. Plummer was the one I thought that was going to be the man, but they gave up on him. I think they gave him, I think, 4 years with the team. He was really good with the team, and they dropped him. I don't understand the reasoning of getting rid of Plummer. I know his numbers might suck, but he had a winning percentage. He won games, something Cutler isn't used to yet. Cutler's still technically a rookie, but I thought if you would have held on to Plummer or not given Cutler the job last year, Denver would have been a playoff team last year. Of course, they wouldn't have done anything in the playoffs to begin with, in my opinion. Probably tomorrow. I do plan to make a video responding to a person I've been having a debate with through Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, which quarterback's better, kind of thing. We've been text messaging, commenting. I think it's been on my. I can't recall what video it's on. I think it's on my John Manning best quarterback in the NFL video. So if you haven't seen that one, check that one out. Basically, I think he's been wanting an answer from me. I just haven't really had time. And basically, the reasoning I I'd have to dedicate a video. So thanks for your comments. I can't remember who you are again. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me. But so I apologize for that. But I will get back to you on your. You know who you are. And I'll get back to you. I'll make a video based on that. And I know that you want me to answer your questions, so I'm going to do it on my next video. Probably tomorrow, maybe the next day, depending on what time I get home tomorrow night. Gotta work tomorrow, so. Uh, Second shift, so you have an idea it's going to be late. Might be too tired, but my next video will be towards you, I guarantee that. Uh, Basically is, so you guys want to leave comments on, telling me I'm full of shit, Mike Shanahan get fired, sure, make a video response. I haven't had one yet on any of my videos, so I really want to see what somebody wants to say. Blame Mike Shanahan for the reason they're losing, the reason why they suck. I'll come on here and say that the Broncos suck. I thought they sucked ever since they lost those 3 games in a row. Early in the year against Jacksonville, New England. I mean, not New England, Indianapolis and San Diego. When they lost those games, they suck. Like, well, they can't beat the big teams. They are not any good. Then they beat Pittsburgh, and that surprised me a little bit. But that was Cutler, the reason why they won that game. Because Cutler's a beast. So, Cutler, he's a good quarterback. He's got a great future ahead of him. So, hopefully he can get back in a groove and start winning some games late here. I'm hoping that the Broncos finish with a pretty shitty record so they at least get a decent draft pick, because really, if they shoot for the playoffs, they don't have much chance with New England and Indianapolis in there. Uh, New England's going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not sure if they're going undefeated. Actually, I have a feeling that Miami's beating them this year. I just have that strange feeling. Call me crazy, but I have a feeling Miami's going to beat them. I think they're going to beat New England's going to beat Pittsburgh and New York, depending on the undefeated streak or whatever. Pittsburgh might even beat them too, but I think New England's winning this week. Anyways, this is Mad Dog 2001 out.